Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Mario Kart World Part 3. Baby, let's go. Part 3. Fellas, welcome back. Guys, I held up to my word, and you wouldn't believe it. We are, in fact, recording another episode of Mario Kart World, because to me, that just seems a little more chill. I got me some water. This is the random combo of the day, by the way. Nabbit in the Tiny Titan. Funny how that works. This is our little combo for the day. And fellas, today we are doing the Star Cup. If you can believe it, we're doing the Star Cup. I know it seems a little unbelievable that we would do such a thing, but that is exactly what we're doing. Hope you guys are doing well. Obviously, this is being recorded right after the last episode of Mario Galaxy 2. I keep wanting to say Mario Galaxy, but it is the second game in the series, guys. It's the second game in the video series, so you will in the video game series. So you'll have to cut me a little bit of slack, but you know, it's all good, all things considered. Fellas, hope you all are doing well. Hey, I kind of wanted to touch a little bit on that whole thing that I touched on in the last episode of Mario Galaxy 2 about how it was a little cloudy, right? And I just, you know, I'm tempted to like check the forecast, low-key, like after I get done recording this video, and I almost wonder if maybe the weather's gonna be okay. Like if it's gonna rain on me, obviously, sick, nasty. I'm glad I could do that. Like if it's gonna rain on me, I don't want to take any chances. Here, we're gonna do this too. Yeah, dude. See, like I said, I've been practicing this game. But if it's gonna rain on me, you know, I don't want to take any chances. But if it's not gonna rain on me, hey, dog, low key. Wait, I made it somewhat cool at the very least. Okay, that was fumble of the year. I mean, that was just genuinely fumble of the year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But yeah, like if it's not going to rain on me, hey man, I might give me a good walk in because I need a little fresh air. Granted, it's not gonna look the most appealing outside because again, it's just like it doesn't even necessarily look like it will like guaranteed rain. It just looks very depressing and just very gray. And also at the same time, like I'm not gonna rule out the possibility that it would rain, right? I'm not going to rule out the possibility that it would rain because it does wholeheartedly look like it just straight up could rain, and that's just no fun, man. Let's see if I can I do this shortcut proper at least once? Okay, well, here's the thing, man. If that's happening to me, I can't really do that the best. I will say, this combo feels very nice, by the way. This is a very nice feeling combo. Mainly, I think it has a lot to do with Nabbit carrying it, because, like, Nabbit is, if you guys don't know, I believe tied with Toadette for basically the meta character of this game. I believe Nabbit and Toadette have the same stats on their character. So he's actually, we've got a very competitive, viable character. Not that, to me, that matters much. There's a reason that I'm willing to do something like a randomized combo sort of thing for this game, because honestly, bro, I feel like you can get by with mostly any combo of character and cart in this game, and I'm very glad, for the record. Oh, let's go. I got the trick. Let's go. I'm very glad that they've done away with the whole, you know, cart part thing. I know that, you know, some people are going to disagree with that and say that they missed that. That's fine. Me, personally, I'm not going to miss it. I'm not going to miss it, because you know what it really caused, man? It caused a lot of complications in stats. Half of the time, no matter what you did, you had to work hard to make an appealing-looking vehicle, man. You had to work hard to make an appealing-looking vehicle, and I just don't exactly know how I feel about that, right? I don't know how I feel about that. The fact that I can just choose a character, choose a cart, and it's pretty much always going to look pretty fire in this game. It's like, you know, man, there's a reason it worked in like Mario Kart Wii and is working in this game. I just feel like in Mario Kart 7, it was the only time that system had its novelty. By the time it got to Mario Kart 8, it kind of stopped having that novelty, in my opinion, at least. I don't think it, I think it lost its novelty pretty quickly, all things considered. But I digress, nonetheless. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm going to maybe try and get me a walk-in. Fellas, I also wanted to talk about something that I saw recently on Twitter.com. But I know, it sounds bad, but it's actually unironically something kind of interesting that I'm fascinated by. So for a little bit of context, very recently, and I want to say it's like a day or two ago. I don't know why Rosalina just full-blown crashed into that pole. About a day or two ago, Nintendo uploaded a new soundtrack to Nintendo Music, Yip Yip Hooray, and that would happen to be the new Super Mario Bros. DS soundtrack. And some people noticed a very weird oddity with a couple songs in the soundtrack, but mainly the soundtrack for the boss battle theme. So like when you're fighting Bowser Jr. or just like a general boss or whatever. And that's that the song is extremely slow in comparison to what you hear in the actual game. And the reason that people figured out that that's happening is because Nintendo actually opted to use the uncompressed, aka the directly sourced from the music files themselves, you know, not the ones just directly imported from the game. They decided to use those audio files. So basically the complete uncompressed ones as they were exported in the editing software, or the digital audio workstation, if you will. That was such a fumble on my part, by the way. And apparently those were made originally to be very slow. So, you know, it brings up the question of why was it so fast in game? And it's very likely that they did that and sped it up in game to account for like memory constraints, I believe is what I heard. And if so, I think that is a very interesting situation, honestly. And I think it's very fascinating that they opted to use those original slower versions because, like, I think I've heard a lot of people say, like, it sounds wrong to hear them that slow, but you can get used to it, right? You can get used to it. It's not one of those things where it's completely unlistenable. I'm sure to some people it is, but... Like, to my ear, right? To my ear, for instance, I think it is a little bit of an adjustment, and it definitely sounds off, but I think if you gave me enough time, right? If you gave me enough time, I think I'd be able to adjust okay. And I don't think there would be any issue there. Hey, we're going to one of my favorite tracks on the game, by the way. I'm just going to say that straight out of the gate. Sky High Sunday has arguably got to be one of the biggest glow-ups I've seen for a retro track, quote-unquote. I mean, it's kind of difficult because, like, yes, this is by all technicality a retro track, but to be honest, man, it doesn't feel that retro just because we just saw this in Mario Kart 8. And I almost feel like this track was always intended to be like a nitro track for World. It's just we kind of got it as like a teaser for World by getting it in 8. I mean, originally we got it in Tour, right? Let's clear that up. We originally got it in Tour, then we got it in 8, and then we got it in this game. But I don't know why, with the way that it's presented in this game, I feel like it was originally made for World in mind. Like, it just feels like it. Because, dude, the implementation of Sky High Sunday, in my opinion, in Mario Kart 8 felt pretty garbo. It felt pretty garbo with the anti-gravity and such. It felt okay in Tour from the little bit I played of it in Tour. But, like, in World, it just feels completely lickety-split, just meant for it. And you guys will see in a minute why I think so much of it was meant for World, because there's so many cool little tech things that, again, maybe some of it isn't really intended, but, like, it's really cool. Okay, I kind of wanted to hold on to those, but, you know, that's fine. Listen, we'll live at the end of the day. I can feel the effects of groggy morning voice kind of coming through, by the way, during this recording. It's the water's not helping that much. You know, there's an argument to be... Tried to do the time trial strats. There's an argument to be made that I shouldn't be recording fresh and early in the morning, and I should have given myself at least, like, a meal or something before recording. But you know what, man? It's all good. Anyways, watch and learn, fellas. This is a thing you can do. Oh, baby. Swag. Yeah, it's a secret little bottom route here that exists that I think is just as fast as if you went around, but you kind of get to avoid the pack at the cost of you don't really get an item box. There's that sick shortcut, by the way, that's existed since... I mean, like, it's existed since day one, mainly because I remember people saw... I think it was in the Nintendo Treehouse footage that they showed at the Star Cup. People pointed out the fact that there was like a CPU you saw that you could see in that video that actually took that inner part of that last turn as a genuine route. The CPU did that. Okay, I just want to remind you, the CPU did that. And that was like, that made people immediately think, oh, when this game comes out, I got to test that. And yeah, it's pretty on site, man. Like, they definitely let you do that, and it's just kind of insane. By the way, we're going over to Wario Shipyard. If you guys want my honest opinion on Wario Shipyard, just, you know, above all else, I think Wario Shipyard in this game had to grow on me. Because I think there will be a lot of people that sit here and tell you that it's not as good as its 3DS counterpart on Mario Kart 7. In my opinion, it's grown on me a lot. If you start to know the cool shortcuts, it becomes really cool. But I think on its own, especially if you're not a big fan of the above water driving that this game does, as opposed to the underwater driving of the last two games, it's a little bit tedious. Now, me personally, I still, even with the adjustments of learning how to do the above water driving, I still prefer above water driving, personally. I just think it's less annoying to deal with. And all around is just more fun to do, because, like, look, you get to do this, man. Look at this. This is cool to me. I don't know why, man, but this is cool to me. Do you get to do this with underwater driving? I don't think so. Underwater driving just felt a little gimmicky to me. I mean, granted, I'm not gonna sit here and say that this isn't gimmicky to any extent, but you know, it just doesn't feel as much that way, right? It doesn't feel as much that way. Hey, let's do a cool little shortcut. I kind of want to save this mushroom. I want to save this mushroom for a potential blue shell dodge. Yeah, like, for instance, you can do this. If I didn't fail that miserably, you're supposed to bounce off of that tree. That's like the only time ever that I failed that. Which I know sounds like the biggest huff of copium ever, by the way, but, like, you have to believe me on this. Here, just because I'm not seeing... Okay, well... See, that's the only problem I do sometimes have with above water driving. Sometimes above water driving does not let you really get a charge jump out. And it's low-key kind of ridiculous, and I don't know why it does that. Do a little ooh. Yeah, and then we're gonna take this route. Ooh. Ooh. Very sick nasty. You love to see it. Wait, I will be able to dodge a blue shell. Me holding this mushroom wasn't for nothing. It kind of... Okay, well, you know what? I fumbled the bag a little there. I was trying to get a trick off, and that would have looked a lot sicker if I did get the trick off, but unfortunately I did. Unfortunately I didn't, and I paid the price. I paid the price. I ate the water. Drank the water. That's the better term. I drank the water, and, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. Hey, look at that. I believe that was a full, proper 60 points. I don't think I lost any races there, fellas. I don't think I lost any races. I could be wrong, though. But, yeah, that's the Star Cup finish. Star Cup is definitely, like, I think in terms of the aesthetic vibe, the aesthetic theming of the Star Cup, I think it is one of the best in the game, in my opinion. I think one of the strongest cups in this game really is, like, the Mushroom Cup, the Star Cup. I think the Lightning Cup's pretty strong. You know, I think every cup in this game, there's not particularly a bad cup, in my opinion, because they all are meant to serve, like, a little bit of a purpose. I think before it was very easy to chalk down, like, what random 4 tracks are they just going to throw into the pool for a cup and then judge that. But since they're actually kind of themed in this game, it's like, okay, there's a little more conversation to be had about them here, right? There's a little more conversation to be had about them here, and I think that's something pretty cool. But, fellas, hey, look at that. Look at that. Look at that, man. 3rd cup down. 4th cup coming next episode. Ooh, baby. I'm ready to stop talking for a little bit as well, by the way, because, yeah, Morning Voice is not liking me talking this much and rambling this much. But it's almost instinctual, man. I just have to keep rambling. And, you know, I could sit here and say, fellas, that's going to do it for this episode of Mario Kart World Part 3. But, you know, I'm just out here rambling, okay? Maybe I don't want to end off the episode. Fellas, that's going to do it for this episode of Mario Kart World Part 3. Boy, howdy. Did we make some progress? Did we make some progress? I'm very proud of the progress that we made. Yeah, in the next episode, we're going to handle, I believe it's either the shell, I think it's the Shell Cup. And that's all around going to be a fun time. I can't remember what the general theming of that one is. I think it's more like Savannah region of the map. I think that's what the general theme of it is. Or it's more water theme, so like Salty Speedway, stuff like that. But Only time will tell. I can't really remember. It's been a while since I actually did that cup properly. But I digress. Nonetheless, fellas, that is going to do it for this episode of Mario Kart World. Fellas, if you enjoyed this video, maybe like, comment, subscribe. I don't know, it's your life. Do what you want. I don't really care. And I will see you, fellas, in the next video. Bye-bye, guys.